Hi, my name's Elizabeth and I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful triangular gift box. You can store some beautiful treats inside, either chocolates or other handmade gifts inside the box as well. So to make this project, we're going to use some cardstock and some beautiful designer paper. This one is from our Daily Bread Designs and it's called Shabby Rose Collection. So you'll first want to cut your piece of cardstock 7 1/8 of an inch by 6 6/8 of an inch. Then we're going to measure with our 7 1/8 going across the top. We're going to measure 1 inch from either side. And we're just going to draw a vertical line. I'm going to do that on both sides. Now that we've done that, on both lines we want to mark a line at 1 3/8, 3 3/8 and 5 3/8. 1 3/8, 3 3/8 and 5 3/8, and you should have 6 6/8. And do the same on the other side. So you should have a 2-inch gap here and here. So choose either one, but you want to choose the bottom one. It doesn't matter if your paper, which way your card goes up. You want to find halfway, so mark another mark at 1 inch on either side. This is going to make our tabs for our box. Then you want to measure out 2 inches from this line outwards. So it's handy to just have a scrap piece of paper or something you can draw on underneath. So just line those up to make sure they're going to be straight. I'm going to make a mark at 2 inches out here and make sure that 2 inches on this side. Without moving your bottom piece or your cardstock, you want to draw a line from this mark out and the other side, and you want to do the same on the other side as well. So this has given you this side of your box in these two sections, but we need to put some tabs on the side here too. So there's no real angle, you sort of just guess, and you can adjust it later if it doesn't fit properly. So go out about 3/4 of an inch here and just draw a line, and then take it from where this line meets the card as well and go out about 3/4 of an inch, or a bit longer if you want to, and then just join across the top. Do that on both sides, and then you want 1/2 inch out on the bottom. So now you want to cut all around the outside of this image, so you want to cut around these lines and around this one here. That's the basic shape for your triangle gift box. So now we're going to score all of these lines. So you should have your outline and all your lines scored now. So I think it's easier to add the designer paper before we fold it and put it all together. So as I said in the beginning, for this box I'm using the beautiful Shabby Rose collection from Our Daily Bread Designs. So for the designer paper for the base of the gift box, you should just need one 6-inch piece of paper, 6 by 6 inch piece of paper. This is going to be the base of the gift box, so I don't put any designer paper on this one, but feel free to do that if that's what you want. This will be the back side. So this panel here is this section here. This top panel is this panel here on the top, and then this panel down the bottom here is this panel underneath down here. So on the base, this section, I don't have any designer paper, and I have added some to the two ends of my gift box, which will be these two sections. So you'll need to cut one piece, which will be 1 7/8 of an inch by approximately 5 inches, but just double check. With thicker and thinner cardstock, sometimes the measurements are slightly different. And then you'll need two pieces, which are 1 2/8 of an inch by approximately 5 inches as well. And these pieces will go here and up here. But if you have that piece of paper that you first made those triangle marks when you were doing this section, so if you just line your score marks up with those marks again, then you just need to grab your designer paper, place it one corner where you were going to have it on there, and just mark the other corner. So it's going to be about there. And then you know that this score line is going to be this line here, so you just mark in a little bit, and that's going to line up with that corner. And similar on the other side, this tab, this mark here will line up with about there. So first thing you do is just cut those pieces. So once we've done that, we can stick them all down. So now you should have all your designer paper on the base of your gift box. So now what we want to do is we want to mark our circles for our ribbon before we fold the box up. So this is going to be 2 circles on this panel and 2 circles on this panel. So it's here and here. And what you want to do is you want to measure 3/8 of an inch in from this score line that way, and then 3/8 of an inch in as well, and that's where your circles are going to be. So now you should have all your score lines folded, and now we're going to add a decorative edge to the front of the box. So it's going to be this edge along here. So for that, I've taken Our Daily Bread Designs Beautiful Borders die. It comes in a set of 3, and I've just die cut the piece. I think this is one of my favourite dies. I think it's really beautiful. So because this is a tiny bit too long for your box, what I've done is just chopped off either end. So you can just see I've cut off just a little section from either end. And to do that, I just lined it up with my box and just made marks where it needed to be chopped off. So the next thing we do before we finish decorating the front and we actually glue the box together is we're going to add this hole for the brad. So it's got a hole here in the middle. So I have a brad. This time I'm going to use this little flower brad, and the hole that I'm going to die cut it with, I'm using this cute little die from Our Daily Bread Designs Circle Ornaments die, and I'm going to stick it smack bang up just above that diamond in there. So it's going to go right about there. Our boxes do not have any tape or glue on these back parts. It's to allow it a bit easier to get inside the box, but we do glue these inside pieces. But before you do that, just fold it up and just check that when you fold these pieces up, that your sides will stand upright. If you find that you haven't cut enough of an angle away from here, you might find that the piece of card's going to be hitting the base of it just here, and so this piece is going to be on an angle. So all you need to do is grab your scissors and just cut a bigger angle out from this side. So mine seem, I'm pretty happy with how they are. So it's going to fold up like that. So I'm just going to add some double-sided tape to these bottom pieces. Just make sure it's lined up. Just grab a clip and just clip it over the top. Just set that side for a minute just so it can dry, or if you've just used double-sided tape, that won't be a problem. And we get ready our other decorative parts over the top. So to decorate the front, I've used another Daily Bread Designs die. This one is Our Daily Bread Designs Fancy Foliage die. And so when it's cut out, turns out like that, and I've then dry embossed it, and I've then inked it while it was still in the die to get these beautiful parts on the leaves and around there. So what I want to do for the front of my piece is I don't want it sitting just like that. I actually want to split it in two. So what I'm going to do is just cut it in half, just right here where this piece meets, so sort of along that line. Give it a little snip. So now you've got your two pieces. Also on the front, I've used this cute little die. It's the smallest die from the Our Daily Bread Designs Ornamental Crosses die set. You can make them into little flowers. So you will need to cut 5 of these. So this is what it looks like when they cut. And then I've inked all 5 of them. So I've inked the edges. And then just to give them a bit more dimension, I've used a stylus and I've turned them over. And then I'm going to use quite a large ball and just give it a good rub all over the back. Turn it over, give it a good rub all over the front. Turn it back over, give it a good rub again. And then last time on the front, but this time I'm just going to do little circles just in the middle and press down a little bit so that the leaves will open. If you want them a bit flatter, just flatten them out a bit. Some of these have flattened out a bit from me handling them. Just give them a bit more dimension. And the last thing that I did on the front was that I put a little thank you, and the die cut for this one is Our Daily Bread Designs mini tags. So that's that. And then I've used Our Daily Bread Designs mini tag sentiments to stamp the thank you on the tags. And depending on which way you want your thank you, this box, I've put it on this side, whereas on my blue box I've put it facing the other way, so it doesn't matter which way you do it. So So now I need to mark where our bread's going to go in the front so we can close our little box. So you want to put over the front and line it up where you like it, making sure that this hole is going to fully cover where your brad's going to go. If you have a brad that's going to be rather small and you don't want the hole showing in the middle, if I'm going to make the brad there, you've got to think about that it might move up a small amount because it will move to the middle of the back of the brad when it's sitting by itself. So I'm going to put it a little bit lower, put it about there. So you just want to close your box, grab a pencil and just mark a hole in the middle, or mark a dot in the middle of the hole that you die cut. You don't want your brad to fit completely flush with the front, because this is I'm using quite thick cardstock, so it's sort of quite thick, so you want enough room behind the brad that your cardstock will sit in there nicely and stay behind it. So sometimes you can just use just some wads of paper, which I'm just going to slide in behind my brad, and then just hold it closed where you close the back of the brad over. Sorry, it's a bit hard to see what I'm doing. If you can have a look, I've now got a gap. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a gap behind my brad, between my brad and my paper. So hopefully when I close it, it's going to sit just behind it. So I've added my flowers to the front as well. I've just glued them down and added my thank you with the foam tape. And then I've just added some half pearls, stick-on half pearls to the centre of my flowers as well. So that's the front of my little box finished. So what you want to do is, doesn't matter which end you tie it, but place it through in the front and leave the end just hanging out there for a minute. So you want to go through the same side again from the front with the other one, and then you want to go the hole next to it, you want to go back out on that one, so it's going to leave a little loop on the inside, and then around the back you want to go back through that from front to back on this one, and then gently pull it back so the knot's going to be sitting just in there, or you could have it sitting on just one of the holes, and then you just adjust the other end to make both of the loops even. So then when you close your box, you can hold it up. The inside of this box I made originally to fit 3 Ferrero Rochers. You can close up your box to have your little chocolates inside. Different types of chocolates inside as well. You can get little fun size Mars bars, and 2 of those will fit in there, or any other number of chocolates, or other handmade gifts or anything else you want to put in there. So thanks very much for watching my tutorial on how to make this triangular gift box.